Yes. How are we all doing?
Yo.
Welcome back to a City Extreme. Kind of sad news today. Sad Monday, innit? Big up to all the people, by the way, who've seen LB on Sky. I've seen people talk about it before, which is pretty sick. We'll just speak about that then. Laporte wants to leave City. Now, could be a shock to some people. For me personally, I don't think it's a shock.
Yeah, not a shock to me. I don't think it'll be shocked to anyone really. But yeah, the news coming out today is that Laporte is looking to possibly leave Manchester City. Barcelona apparently the main candidates, and initial contacts have already taken place between the clubs and the players' camp. So we'll get into this and what this means for City. What could our possible replacement be here, and whether or not this is actually a good thing, and whether or not this is actually something that maybe Manchester City and Pep Guardiola have actually forced due to the lack of minutes. Now, before we get into all that, of course, make sure you guys drop a like on the stream. Let's get those likes past 100, man. We're 300 people in the stream. Let's get those likes up past 100. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. And of course, make sure you go check out Manscaped at manscaped.com. If you've not already got yourself the latest in ball, hair, trimming technology, then go check out the Lawnmower 4.0. And you can go check it out there. Use code Xtra20 for 20% off your order and free international shipping, which is obviously big. Big up to Lionel Messi with the super chat. Says, big up to you, LB on Sky Sports News today. And my girlfriend made me sleep on the floor all night because I laughed at her team losing 7-0 to Liverpool at Anfield. I mean,
Man got demoted to the floor.
He did. He got demoted, but it's probably worth it because you know it's quite funny, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? So,
definitely worth it. Definitely worth a night on the floor.
Yeah. So big up for the super chat, bro. And Hart as well with a 2. It says 7-0 Braves. I was pissing myself. Yeah, I think a lot of people was, man. I think a lot of people was. Very, very, very funny. But yeah, Aymeric Laporte. This is what's basically come out. So basically, this morning we've had different news from 2 different sources this morning. Matty Moretto said, in defence, Manchester City are most likely to look for a centre-back this summer, but will first have to sell Laporte. First, we'll have to sell with Laporte a candidate. Should the Spaniard leave, the first name Pep Guardiola wants to look at is RB Leipzig's Josko Gvardiol, who we know City are interested in. We know that he's been liking some tweets with like rumours and shit like that, like linking him to Manchester City and all that kind of stuff. And then FF Polo came out, not FFP. I'm so used to seeing FFP these days with everything that's been going on. Fernando Polo came out this morning and said Laporte wants to leave Manchester City and join Barcelona, with the initial contacts having already taken place between the club and the players' camp. So it basically sounds to me like this is probably going to happen. Laporte not really got that much game time this season, despite being fit for a lot of it. And yeah, I mean, it's no real surprise that he's now looking to possibly leave. I mean, he obviously had that little bit of a knee injury at the beginning of the season, which obviously he didn't start the season. But since then, he's been available 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times when he's been on the bench and hasn't seen any minutes at all. And he's also seen 1 or 2 games where he's come on for like 10, 15 minutes towards the game. So I believe that, he probably does want to leave, and it's no surprise. I mean, he's been looking at earlier on this season when we were really, really struggling with build-up play and the team was really poor. And he was seeing players like Ake Akanji, Rico Lewis, these type of players getting the team ahead of him. And he's probably thinking, why am I not playing? So for me, completely believable that he probably does want to leave. And unfortunately, I think we've probably forced the issue here a little bit by just not playing him.
I mean, I've said plenty of times that Laporte walks into most clubs in the world. He walks into most starting 11s. So for him to sit there on the bench and not start, he'll be sat there thinking, well, what's the point in being here? I may as well be somewhere else. Obviously, he changed nationality to Spain. I think it's the minute that happened when he was being linked away at that point, and ever since we've been linked with another centre back, everyone kind of turned the attention to it'd be Laporte that left out if it was anyone. I think with the whole Gvardiol thing, everyone expected it to be Laporte to make way if it's going to be anyone, and it's a shame because he's mint. He is actually mint. Like Laporte is incredible. Like you say, he's vital to the way that we build it from the back. You see a major difference when he's in the side as to when he's out. And it's a shame, but I can't like basically slate the guy for wanting to leave when he deserves to be playing football. The guy deserves to be playing, and at the moment he's just not playing. He doesn't get the game time.
Yeah, and and I think as well, I think if you look at something like the game against Newcastle, for example, he's on the bench. I mean, I know he's just come back from an illness, but like he's better than Akanji, and it is, especially if you're playing this back four. There's no reason not to play Laporte in a back four, 100%. I can kind of understand it slightly if you played a back three and you want to play him left-sided centre-back, because I think Ake's a better player for that position. I really do. I think he's faster than Laporte. I think he's better defensively than Laporte. But when you're playing a back four, I don't see any reason why Akanji should be playing over Laporte in a back four. So, yeah, and I put the poll in the chat, and I don't hold any frustration with Laporte. I don't hold any ill malice. I completely understand why he would want to leave in this situation. And if I was Laporte, I would probably want to leave as well, because he should be playing more minutes. And unfortunately, he's not. He will obviously play games now to the end of the season. And hopefully he'll give his 100%, which I'm sure he will. He's a professional sportsman. But I can't look at this, and I've got to say, I think we've probably forced this issue a little bit. Now, whether we actually needed to do that is another situation. I don't think it is. I think there's been plenty of games this season where Laporte should have started ahead of other players. The United game, for example, the United game was so bad. He would have infinitely improved our game in that Man United game where we lost 2-1. So much so that I'm pretty much convinced that we would have beat Man United had we had Laporte in that team. I'm so convinced, because we spent about 80% of the time on the ball just passing the ball around our back four, because no one had the ability to play the ball in the midfield. We had Bernardo Silva dropping into centre back because he was trying to get on the ball and make things happen, leaving Kevin De Bruyne isolated in the middle. And there's been other occasions this season where we've really, really suffered with build-up play. Now, that seems to be getting a little bit better as the season goes on, but yeah, it's a real shame. It's a real shame, because I feel that with Laporte, we've never really seen his true potential. We've seen it here or there, and we've seen it for like maybe a couple of months, but we've never really seen it for like 2 seasons on the bounce. Never, because maybe injuries, and then obviously Pep Guardiola just been a bit inconsistent with picking Laporte. I don't know why that is, but it's just a bit of a shame, really, because I think if he does leave this summer, which I think he probably will now, I just get the feeling that like he's leaving and he's never really accomplished a true sort of consistent performance over a long period of time. And you can say the same thing about John Stones, but John Stones is not leaving, so you've still got time there. But it's a shame. It's a real shame. I think it's a sad day to hear this news. And I think when this deal goes through, which I do expect him to leave, I'd be surprised if he didn't leave. I think it's been very, very sad.
I mean, the only thing that you can look at is as to him not playing is there was rumours that he was one of the people that were unhappy previously, but it all just ties into the fact that he's not playing. It was like he's not happy because he's not playing, but because he's continually not playing, he's not going to be happy. And then Pep won't select him because he's not happy. So it's just kind of like a circle that you just get going round and round and round and round. But that's one of the things. He was one of the names that were put in there, thrown out about obviously being in the unhappy side. This was quite a while ago, so nothing's really changed since then. But it's just it's a shame really that this couldn't get resolved, or Pep wants to play him. But then if Pep's got his sights set on a player like Gvardiol, he's probably thinking, well, I'm letting him go anyway. Then maybe this is something that the City are already kind of like in tune with. And, do you know what I mean? Maybe it's now a thing of, we know that we're letting Laporte leave, so we're going to continue playing with Akanji and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Because we know that Laporte's going anyway, and give Akanji more game time now. On this, which is actually funny, because Fabrizio Romano literally tweeted 3 minutes ago saying that Gvardiol is obviously one of the most wanted players around Europe, and he's confirmed obviously that City want him. Guardiola's a big fan. He's in City's list.
I think it's the perfect replacement. Now, that doesn't mean that he's better than Laporte. It doesn't mean that he's a perfect signing. But if you're losing Laporte...
You lose Laporte, Guardiola's a massive one to be able to go and get
Gvardiol is the perfect replacement for Laporte. I think, especially if Pep Guardiola wants to run a 3 at the back next season, which I think he probably will want to do, because I think that's how you can potentially get Haaland and Alvarez into the team a little bit more. Then putting Gvardiol on the left-hand side, Diaz in the middle, John Stones on the right, with an inverted fullback, probably Rico Lewis, to be honest with you, is probably the perfect way to go. And I think he'd suit the Premier League well. He's good on the ball. He's very strong. He's physical player. And yeah, I think he's got the potential to be big. Obviously, the big one here is, can City agree a fee with RB Leipzig, because the fee's going round. Rumours have it that Leipzig want to make Gvardiol the most expensive centre back ever. So It's going to cost a lot of money. But there's been a lot of talk on Gvardiol. Matty Morato again saying City want Joshko Gvardiol. Romano coming out again a minute ago saying City are absolutely in the race for Gvardiol, and I love the player. Pep Guardiola is a big fan of the centre back. So clearly we know that Gvardiol is a key player here, and I don't think we'll be letting Laporte leave unless we can get someone of the calibre of Gvardiol. That would be done.
Yeah, I mean, we can't have another thing to make note of. We can't have another Zinchenko situation.
Correct.
I'd be looking to get Gvardiol signed before we even think about letting Laporte leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. In fact, if you go back a little bit, back into December, there's quite a lot of talk actually in December about Gvardiol. You've got this one here from Sanse Auna, who said Manchester City are one of 3 clubs that have already drawn up first offers for Gvardiol, offering in the region of €100 million plus bonuses. He then came out a couple of days later and said Man City's bid is €110 million with a 20% sell-on bonus. He said City wanted him in January and then allow him to return on loan to Leipzig. Obviously, that didn't happen. But he also said that Pep Guardiola has already spoken with Gvardiol about a move to Manchester City and the project at the club. A meeting has taken place between Manchester City and Leipzig in the recent days. This was back in December. Man City, Leipzig, and the players' representatives have all discussed the potential transfer. And then about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, Fabrizio Romano again saying Man City are amongst the clubs monitoring Gvardiol. Leipzig want to make him the most expensive centre-back ever. So there's a lot of rumours, loads of different sources saying City want him. It's going to cost at least €100 million. Probably some bonuses, maybe some sell-on clauses in there as well. But this is certainly a deal that Manchester City are looking at.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And it's something that we all know we're looking at Gvardiol. We all know we're looking at Gvardiol. It's just, obviously, it's who it impacted, and it is Laporte that it will impact. And the only thing for me is, where does Laporte go? Now, the rumours are Barcelona, but they seemingly got no cash.
Well, the thing is with Barcelona, they need to sell to buy. However, are they allowed to get players in if it's a straight swap, if it's a swap deal? Are they allowed to do it then? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if we go to them and say, okay, give us Frenkie de Jong, for example, or whoever, give us a player and we'll give you Laporte and cash, or you give us some cash, or whatever it is. Is that allowed? Because they're saying the rumours coming out of Barcelona is that they need to sell £175 million worth of players before they can sign anyone. Now, that's probably a little bit unrealistic, to be honest with you, unless they sell one of their stars, which they definitely don't want to do. But if City go to them and say, okay, we need a midfielder, you want Laporte, give us Frenkie de Jong and we'll give you Laporte. Are they allowed to sign Laporte in that scenario? Or do they have to get money in?
Yeah, I don't. Well, is it not because, don't they need that £175 million? So a swap deal doesn't get them any closer to it. But because if they get rid of Frenkie de Jong, I know Frenkie de Jong did take a wage cut, but then he's one of the high earners there. Surely, if they get, but then wouldn't Laporte just take up a big chunk of that again? Then wages. Well, it seems weird. It seems
probably
weird,
not as much as Frenkie de Jong.
Not as much, but it still have. They still won't be getting too close to that 175 million. That's a lot of cash.
It is, yeah.
That's my only concern. That's my only concern, given the Laporte thing is, it's all fine for him wanting to leave. It's the same situation with Bernardo. It's all fine from wanting to leave. It's who's going to pay the cash. How much do you sell Laporte for, bro?
Probably you're not going to get much more than 60 million.
Yeah, I think you're looking at 60, 70 million pounds for Laporte.
Yeah, I think 60 is max, me. I don't think you'll get anything more than 60 million. That doesn't mean to say I think he's worth less than that, or he's worth. I do think he's worth in this climate, in this market, he's worth way more than that. But you're not going to get. You're going to get. I don't think you're going to get more than 60 million.
Plus, with the fact that he wants, with the fact that he wants to leave, team won't pay as much.
Correct, and he's not playing.
He's not playing football,
so it's difficult to sit there and command a really high fee when he's a player who clearly Pep Guardiola is not picking because he doesn't like him or whatever the reason is. The guy apparently wants to leave. It's difficult because you're not in the power position then. You can be in a power position. You can sit there and go, well, his contract's until 2025, pay the money or you don't get him. Well, yeah, but do you really want to do that? Do you really want to keep players who don't want to be at the football club? If this rumor about Laporte not wanting to be here is true, do you really want to do that? I mean, we've done it with Bernardo Silva, and Bernardo Silva is clearly a player that has accepted the decision, but there comes a point where, for me, in my own opinion, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I just want players at this football club who actually want to be here.
Yeah, you want players who want to be here. That's the way that Pep goes about it anyway, isn't it? Like he wants play. If you don't want to be here, then don't be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, for sure. Let's have a look at some of these super chats that have come in. Paratosh with a 5 says, I like Laporte. He also likes the club and fans a lot. It would be sad to see him go. Hopefully he stays. Yeah, 100% agree with that. I think he does rate the fans. It's gonna be a sad moment if he does leave. Mm-hmm. Oliver, member for 10, says the big 10 months. Yes,
Oliver, the 10 months.
Thank you for the support, bro. Thank you very much, guys. By the way, if you want to join Oliver, get yourself in the Xtra Club. Massively appreciate the support. Link is in the description there as well. Paratosh again with a 5 says, I'm also leaving my current job as I don't get what I want. If Laporte does the same, there's nothing wrong with that. 100%.
That's very true. That is very true.
100%. I don't have a problem with it. If you don't want to be here, no problem. Go where you want to be happy in it. Life's short, bro. Callum, member for 18, bro. That's mad. He says, I like Laporte, but he's always me to not have best relationships with Pep, similar to Sani, in my opinion. It does appear to be some sort of friction or not 100% on the same page. Don't know what it is, but it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. But it's going to be sad no matter what. But if we can get Gvardiol in or someone who is capable of replacing this guy, I think it'll be okay. We just need to make sure we get a replacement in.
Yeah, we do. Well, that's what I mean. We need to get the replacement in first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Much more to talk about on this, guys. And obviously, we'll have a look at some more of your guys' opinions on this. But before we do, big up to the guys at Manscaped. You know what time it is. Let's go.
85% of partners prefer a man who is groomed below the waist, and 96% of partners think bad grooming is a major turn-off. That's where Manscaped have come in to help us all out, including myself, lads. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a trimmer specifically designed with our crown jewels in mind. It has skin-safe technology to reduce those nicks and cuts and gives you the maximum confidence while trimming below the waist. It's also IPX7 waterproof rated, so you can operate in wet or dry conditions. It has a premium 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology and a massive 90-minute battery time, which is supported by its wireless electromagnetic charging function. With the Performance Package 4.0, you'll get the Crop Reviver with witch hazel and powerful odor defense. This keeps your balls protected after a good shave. Crop Preserver with its soothing aloe vera and advanced quick absorbing cream, keeping your balls feeling fresh and hydrated. And the Weed Whacker to trim ear and nose hair. The Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep you the most groomed man in the room. Use our code XTRA20 XTRA20 at checkout and you'll save yourself 20% off your order and receive free international shipping.
Yes. Go check out Manscaped. Use code XTRA20 for 20% off and free international shipping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go check it out, guys. Go check it out. Yeah, so, look, Laporte apparently wants to leave. Where will he go? Barcelona, obviously, highly linked with him, highly rated him. Apparently, that's where he wants to go. And talks have taken place between the two clubs and the players' representatives. If I said to you now, get Gvardiol in and let Laporte go, are you taking that deal? Mm-hmm. Or would you rather keep Laporte and not get Gvardiol?
Well, no, because Laporte don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking the Gvardiol deal.
You're taking the Guardiola deal.
And I think a lot of people... as it stands right now, are almost in the situation of they're fine with Laporte leaving as well because they feel like we will go get Gvardiol. Now, if Laporte left and we didn't get Gvardiol, then that's when you're seriously looking at it in a bad light. Then you're looking, okay, how do we fix this? Who can we go get instead? But people kind of, it's like people already have their fix. They already have the replacement in mind. And it's looking like City also have their replacement in mind. Now, obviously, it's going to be a lot of cash, but is what it is. The guy doesn't want to be here. And if that is true that he doesn't want to be here, I'm 100% taking Gvardiol as that replacement.
Yeah, I mean, Gvardiol, let's have a look at some of the details then on Gvardiol. He's 21 years old, just turned 21 last month. So obviously, high prospect player. He's contracted until 2027 with a reported fee to get him out of Leipzig of around 100 million euros, which is, how much money is that? 100 mil to pound, that's 88 million quid. So obviously it's going to be a lot of money, and it will go straight in the top 15 most expensive Premier League signings of all time. Experience-wise, he's quite experienced. He's played 50 times in the Bundesliga. He's played 19 times for his country, Croatia. He's played, how many times he played in the Champions League? He's played about 11 times in the Champions League, played another 16 times in the Europa League. So, I mean, he's fairly experienced. I mean, he's not a player that's got loads of experience. Of course, he's only 21 years old. He's not coming in with 100 Champions League appearances like maybe a Varane or someone at Manchester United, but he's coming in with decent experience for his age. He's probably one of the most experienced players in his age group. And from what I've seen of him, I think he will suit the Premier League. I do. I think that the way that he plays and his physicality will really suit him. Obviously, Croatian, you know what I mean? So that might help with the Champions League quest. I'm kind of excited about this deal. I'm kind of excited about this deal because I think that there's a lot of potential with it. And obviously, Pep Guardiola's a massive fan of him as well. I think this could be a really, really big move for Manchester City.
Yeah, without a doubt. I feel like you're speaking in zingers, like in clippable moments, like things that you could upload as just a short. This would be a really big move for Manchester City. I agree. I think he would mint for City. Obviously, he can play left back as well, which is good for us, especially with the way that we go into this 3 at the back system nowadays with an inverted full back. I think he suits that. I don't know. I think this could be major. It could be like, it's mad, obviously, because we do have John Stones, and John Stones is incredible. We know that Stones and Diaz have had an incredible partnership before as well. However, the Stones is pretty much made of biscuits, so it's never really consistent enough. So you do need another quality centre back in there, and Gvardiol could be that guy to make another partnership with Ruben Diaz, I mean, hopefully it is.
6'1". So, not small, and obviously not the biggest guy in the world, but that's sort of a decent height. You know what I mean? You're not going to be any worries there about height. It's okay there. Decent, good on the ball, strong, powerful. I just think he's looking at him play, he looks like a player who can come into the Premier League and just hit it off straight away. And that's obviously what we're going to need, because even though we are still in for 3 trophies this season, if you look at, obviously, we're still in the Champions League. Premier League is still obviously there. And, obviously about the FA Cup still. I think most people have kind of got to terms that this is a little bit of a transition season. It's a very good transition season, and it's a lot better than someone like a Liverpool's. But I do think it's a transition season. And if you can get Gvardiol in next season, and he can just come in straight away and hit the ground running, which doesn't happen to a lot of players. A lot of players might maybe take a year, but I'm just looking at the way that he plays, and I think he just looks perfect for this team. Now, of course, we'll never know, and it is a risk. You're paying 88 million quid for a guy who's played 50 league games. That is a risk. Don't want anyone coming out saying it's going to be a 100% a win transfer. It's a double transfer. But, I mean, when you're looking at a replacement for Laporte, you want someone who can come in and play football. Something that we've really struggled with this season is build-up play. He can play football. Solid defensively. And actually, if you look at Laporte, maybe one of his weaknesses, he's probably not the strongest defender in the world, if we're being honest with you. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Ake's a better defender than him. I think John Stones is a better defender than him. Diaz is a better defender than him. I'd say he's better than Akanji. But what he does give you, which is absolutely incredible, and he is probably one of the best in the world at this, is on the ball. He is absolutely superb. So you need a bit of a replacement for that. If you can get Gvardiol, who possibly is a little bit better than Laporte defensively, which I think he is on the small stuff that I've seen of Guardiola, admittedly, then it could be an upgrade. But it is a risk. He's 21 years old, 88 million quid. Laporte's a proven winner. He's been here and done it. No one wants to see Laporte leave. It is a risk, but maybe it's a risk that City need to do. I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, I mean, well, at the end of the day, if Laporte wants to go, then it's a no-brainer to go get Gvardiol. Yes, it's a risk, but you need to go. Obviously, City are looking at him, they are interested in him, and it seems like he's the right profile. Us as fans, we want him in. And if you're going to lose a defender like Laporte, you need to replace it with top quality. And seemingly, that's what City are looking at doing. Chrome Abyss with 1 month says, "Let LB cook." What are you cooking up, bro? What are you cooking, bro?
I had a burger yesterday. I had some jam on toast this morning.
Jam on toast.
So yeah, I'm cooking. Yeah,
LB is cooking. Little Messi with the 2 says Spurs also want him because they have Perisic. What? Croatia.
Yeah, but let's be honest. If City going for Gvardiol and Spurs, there's only one place he's going.
He's not going to go Spurs if City want him. Also, apparently there's a host of clubs after him. Saeed with a 13 month says, remember the goal he scored against us, how high he got to the ball? He did, man, flew. Now, there was questions with him having his hands on I can't remember who it was back, but he absolutely flew. Guy jump there, man. Paratosh with a 2 says, looking forward to the Big 6 and to see Saeed get roasted. I think a lot of people will also be looking forward to the Big 6 to see Saeed get roasted. Obviously, absolute pain. Masson with a 5 says, Jude, Gvardiol, Kovacic or Mount, Wi-Fi password. Wi-Fi password? I don't know who Wi-Fi password is. Gvardiol maybe. Any fucking left back. Time to ruin football before City get relegated. Up the football ruining Oil FC. Yes. Big up Masso, mate. I don't know who Wi-Fi password is.
No, it's definitely Gvardiol.
It's got to be Gvardiol, isn't it? Like,
that's the first time I've heard someone call him a Wi-Fi password, though.
Yeah, it's definitely that. It's definitely that. Yeah. Big up Masso, mate.
But the rumours coming out, and I know this gets branded around a lot, but the rumours coming out is that City are going to spend big this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to spend big.
Well, obviously, we were linked to Jude. Like I say, Jude, Gvardiol. We have been linked to another midfielder like a Kovacic. We've been linked to Declan Rice. We've been linked to Rafael Leao. I mean, and we've not even mentioned a single left back. So
I'm gonna have a look at let's have a look at our transfer spend then. So this season, 150 million quid, right? Last season, 138 million quid. This is all transfer mark data, by the way, so don't cut me if it's wrong. Season before, 173 million quid. This is also Euros. Season before, 166 million quid. It's not like we're spending fucking shitloads of cash. That's Euros. And in the last 2 years, 2021, 2022, our actual net spend was only 45 million. 2022, 2023, and net spend, we made a profit of 11 million. Mm-hmm. So in the last 2 years, we've had a net spend of 35 million euros. It's like 28 million quid. So I actually think that the war chest this summer is actually legit. I do actually think we've got a war chest.
Do you think we've got the keys this time?
I actually do think we've got the keys. I think the keys are there, ready. And this summer, I think we're going to go big. I do. And you know what? I think the squad needs it. People chat on about this squad depth that Manchester City have. It's absolute nonsense. It's nonsense. Our centre-backs is the only position right now where we are strong. We've got no left-back at the football club who is capable of playing a football match. We've got Kyle Walker, who's our only right-back. Luckily for us, Rico Lewis is coming from the academy and done well. But he's still only an academy player who's still finding his way in the game. You got Calvin Phillips who's not fit and he can never play a match. And rumours have it, does Pep Guardiola even want him to be here? You've got Gundogan who's leaving in the summer, Bernardo Silva who's wanted to leave for 2 years, and you've got 2 recognised wingers and Phil Foden who's sort of like this hybrid guy, who's a winger but not really a winger. He's mainly a centre mid, but he's been playing as a winger. Our striking position and our centre backs are the only position on the pitch where
we're British on striker wise, given the fact that obviously
that's it. Everywhere else on the football pitch, we are weak.
Yeah,
wing backs were weak, CDM were weak, wingers were weak,
in depth we're weak. Yeah.
We're weak in depth. So that's a myth when people talk about that. And this squad needs a lot of money. We need at least 2 centre mids, at least 2. We need, I'd say, at least 1 winger, and we need 2, possibly 2 fullbacks. You might get away with 1 if it's a left back. And the left back needs to be a good left back. It can't be like some £20 million guy. It needs to be a solid left back. Your 8s are going to have to be solid players. They're about 80 million quid each nowadays. And your wingers you can probably get away with like a backup winger. You don't have to go get Kvaratskhelia. That's not going to happen. But you could go get like a Leao. That's going to be 60 million. So we actually need to spend a lot of money this summer. We do. Otherwise, we won't kick on next year. And we need to. We're in a very, very fortunate position as a football club right now, where this is our transition year, and we're still having a great year.
Yeah.
But what you want to make sure is that next year doesn't become another transition year, because then it's not a transition year. It then becomes, City are dropping off. You need to make sure that this transition year is a one-off, and next year, boom, you're right back at it.
Yeah.
And that means you got to spend money.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to hope that City will do the business. We know that we move differently nowadays. We don't like to get ourselves in bidding wars, etc. We like to value a player. We'll offer that value, and then if they don't want to meet that, we'll kind of walk away. I guess this summer is going to be heavy. Absolute heavy. And like I say, players that we like, do you know what I mean? Players like Laporte, who are good for the team. So some of them you're gonna have to just allow and just say, yeah, well, it's time for them to go. Players like Gundogan might not sign that contract that's on the table for him. He might want to move elsewhere. And that's what we've got to look at.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting summer for sure. Loads of cash, I think, is going to be made available to Pep Guardiola and the players. People talk about the academy. We got wingers in the academy. Yes, we do. We have Carlos Borges, great player. We have Mabude, great player. Both players, in my opinion, are ready to play first team football. Whether that's at Manchester City level or somewhere else, I don't know. Probably somewhere else. But they're both fantastic players. Should they be given a chance? Maybe, probably yes. To be fair, we've not had that many games this season where they could have been tried. I'm thinking Seville, match day 6 of the Champions League. But if you look at other games, we've struggled really. You know what I mean? We've had difficult Carabao Cup draws. You know, we had Liverpool, Chelsea, we had Southampton. Obviously, we got knocked out anyway. FA Cup games, don't really recall. Well, what was our FA Cup draw? Who have we had in the FA Cup? We had easy games, but then that's a competition that we want to win. So do you really want to be playing academy players?
We've not had our draws this year have been heavy, haven't they?
Yeah, we've not been cooking in the Premier League, so we've not really been able to play players there. You know what I mean? And we've got other players that we need to play, so it's kind of difficult. It is difficult, but I do agree. You know, we've got academy players there. Could you lose them? Maybe Pep just doesn't rate them. We all rate them. We rate Mabude, we rate Borges, we rate Bob, but maybe Pep's like, yeah, they're good players, but they're not good enough.
They're not ready yet. Yeah,
He's the man. We're just fans, isn't it? He's the guy who knows.
He sees it week in, week out, whereas he sees all the stuff behind the scenes and the mentality of these players more than what we see.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Paratosh with a 5. Yes, it's Paratosh, mate. Will become release clause FC considering the Premier League investigation. I mean, yeah, we could actually become release clause FC. But I think that it will be more in the line of with the outcome of the investigation in there, not just there's loads of release clauses getting about in all these players' contracts. I think it'll be release clauses that are active given we're found guilty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, so there we go. It's pretty sad news, really, because we all like Laporte. We all rate him. And I think, you know, he respects the fans a lot. I think he really does. Love the City fans and the City fan base. I don't want him to go, but...
Guy absolutely rated us doing his celebration, do you remember?
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's a good player in that, and we don't want him to leave. But, look, I can't blame him if he's sat there going, look, I need to be playing football, which I understand. He's a top player, and he's not playing football, and he's not getting ahead of players like a Kanji. then I completely understand why he'd want to leave. And so long as we can make sure we replace him with the quality, then it is what it is. You know, football, people move on. You know what I mean? Transfers do happen, and sometimes you let good players leave your football club. We did it with Sane. We moved on. We still won trophies. We've lost company, Silver over the years to retirement, and obviously going back to Spain and that. It happens. Shit happens. We have to roll with the times. And as long as we replace him and not do a Zinchenko, we will be fine. But yeah, there we go. There we go, man. It's a sad time, Brie.
It is. Like I say, as long as we replace him, that's the only. If he does want to leave and does leave, as long as we replace him, that's where the big caveat comes in this, because a Zinchenko situation at our centre back would be a horror show.
Yeah. No, I agree. Big up. Where's my key, by the way?
Two. Yes.
There's no messages, chat, but if you want to whack one in the chat, read it out.
Guy can't write his keys, innit? Maybe he don't have a keyboard.
I know.
Where's my keyboard? It was his full name, innit?
That's it. By the way, guys, a Avengers show returns tonight, 8 p.m. Who've we got on the show tonight? We've got me, Hugh, Big Steve. Lads is not there. Move is there. Dax is there. And I think someone else is coming on as well. I can't remember who it was. I need to check my phone in it. But yeah, 8 p.m. Join us. We'll be speaking all things Newcastle. We'll be speaking about the title race. We might have a little conversation about Laporte as well. See what the guys make of that. And then we'll turn our attention probably to Palace. So yeah.
It's weird having a week, innit? A full week.
It is weird.
It don't feel right.
I know. But there you go. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Make sure you drop a like on the stream on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. Big up to Manscaped. We'll leave you with their ad. And guys, we'll see you tonight. See you in a bit.
85% of partners prefer a man who is groomed below the waist, and 96% of partners think bad grooming is a major turn-off. That's where Manscaped have come in to help us all out, including myself, lads. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a trimmer specifically designed with our crown jewels in mind. It has skin-safe technology to reduce those nicks and cuts and gives you the maximum confidence while trimming below the waist. It's also IPX7 waterproof rated, so you can operate in wet or dry conditions. It has a premium 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology and a massive 90-minute battery time, which is supported by its wireless electromagnetic charging function. With the Performance Package 4.0, you'll get the Crop Reviver with witch hazel and powerful odor defense. This keeps your balls protected after a good shave. Crop Preserver with its soothing aloe vera and advanced quick absorbing cream, keeping your balls feeling fresh and hydrated. And the Weed Whacker to trim ear and nose hair. The Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep you the most groomed man in the room. Use our code XTRA20 XTRA20 at checkout and you'll save yourself 20% off your order and receive free international shipping.